But anyway, let's talk about the latest book by Omid Scobie. He had to pull, again, this is the version of events we're told. Shock horror. He wrote the book in English. There was a Dutch translation. It went on the bookshelves in Netherlands. They had to pull it because it's got a very strange paragraph in there that doesn't exist in any other edition in any other language, where it names the two royals who apparently have been accused of being racist by raising the issue of what colour skin her then unborn baby, later to be Archie, was going to have when he was born. This was raised, of course, the Oprah Winfrey interview back in, was it 2021, all those years ago? God, it feels like longer. We've been talking about these two. That's now been pulled. Horror. The name is not being released here in the UK. The name is one senior royal, one minor royal. I've seen the names. I don't know whether they're true or not. Can't say them on air because of the libel costs. Yeah. But also, it's very unfair. We don't know the basis of this. Do you believe this version of events, that this has happened? Or are we giving into the most brilliant way, a little bit of PR, where we're all talking about this and names have got out there cunningly without being legally responsible for it?
I just think it's far too much for coincidence. It's only one country and it's relatively quite a small one.
And a paragraph that didn't exist to be translated.
Exactly. Presumably there would have been others if this was part of something that had been actually spread broadly and it was an error. Somebody else would have spotted it somewhere, and probably we would have heard it would have been leaked at some point to say, oh, in the proofs this was there. Because these things do get proofed. You know, I've worked in a book factory before, I've seen them. Lots of stuff gets cut out. Yeah. So yeah, I think it is probably a PR stunt from people who are, a person who is very close to people who are quite big on the old PR stunts. That's kind of...
You've narrowed it down there.
I have narrowed it down, without naming
it. Do you believe that this conversation took place? And if it did, do you think it was a racist conversation?
I suspect a conversation did take place about the complexion of the child, because they are two people who are very strikingly different in terms of appearance. I don't suspect it was meant, from an insensitive or racist place. Maybe if it was, I don't know, somebody from a certain generation over another, it might have been clunky. But I doubt very much that all of this time there's been a sort of a hidden, actual racist in the midst of the royal, and that they've managed to keep it hidden, and that it was just this one time that it slipped up, and that this is the first we're hearing it. I just think that sounds really unlikely, that this sort of deeply ingrained racism manifested itself at that exact moment in time, only to then retreat.
Given how many families who have had partners who are mixed race or of a different ethnicity, and those questions would be raised. I say, it's raised in my family and I married a ginger, but there we are.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You're doing really well.
I didn't know. I didn't see the photos of his childhood until I was already pregnant. Nothing wrong with gingers. Turned out very well.